This conference will now be recorded.
So first of all, I just want to talk about we are going to cover in today's sessions a few things. Just let me share my screen. Hope you can see my screen, and we will see today about the Docker and the Python, and then Flask, and then we will talk about deployment stuff, which is very important for us. Any application, how we will make through containerization environment, and then we will focus on little bit about GitHub. So these all key terms we require to go through our today's task. Before going to in detail about the task, we will do one thing. We'll start with some server, and I will just introduction about each and everything. So those guys new, they can understand and they can easily get in touch with these technologies. Okay. So first of all, I'll talk about GitHub. Remember, GitHub is basically coming from Git. Git is basically a technology, or you can say a concept in which we will manage version control, versions of code. Remember. So before going to detail about that, I'll just introduce you what is GitHub. And in Git, we have two things. One is server and another is client. So server is available in cloud. So that is called a GitHub. GitHub is basically cloud-based server. We will consume that server and we will use this Git server using Git SCM client, Git SCM client, or any other client also, like any other client, like in visual clips also we have some client Git command. Through command also we can handle this type of server. So what is this Git? Git is GitHub. Basically, it is a set of repository. In that repository you will maintain your project. What is repository? In our wording we will say repository is nothing but a project that give you complete solution. So each and everything in IT industry is going to cover in GitHub only, because everyone they are following GitHub, like TensorFlow. This is one package. It is coming into the Python. So the whole code is written in Python, and the whole code is covered in one repository, and we can see this repository in GitHub. We can see this repository in GitHub. Remember, so the open source code is available in GitHub account we require, and that GitHub account is helping to you to cover the repository and other stuff also. So first of all we will create one repository, and then we will push our code. Here we will push our code, and then we will understand little bit about repository, and then after pushing this code we will pull this code to another machine. So here I will use my India machine. I will push my code. I will write a code in my Indian machine, and then here I will pull my code into US or North origin server, origin server, or any other server. So US server, I will pull the code. Remember. So I'll do like that, and then based on this, we will perform some operation on it basically. So what we will do basically here, we will create repository, we will push it, and we will pull it, or else we can say we can clone into another machine. First of all, what is the difference between clone and pull? Clone, first time we will sync the code with your server and with your client machine. It can be anything. So that is called clone. Next time, whenever you are trying to go it same thing, so you will use pull method. Pull is a method in which we will just pull existing repository and make it sync.
I think this particular Git pull, right? It will uh, whatever the changes that are coming, that particular project changes, that is pulling. I mean, that particular changes are getting pulled from the
All
uh,
right.
GitHub. Plus, if there are any local changes with that particular project, also it will merge actually, right? The Git pull instead of
Yes.
Git.
Yes. Right. Right. That part is there, and it will check all the changes which is in tracking part. So all tracking part changes will it will maintain, and it will sync with the existing machine.
So
So
it means
both
that
machines.
previously, if we would have already downloaded that particular Git project into our local, and again, if we are trying to pull the same project from the GitHub, then it will merge the changes, whatever that has been there in locally, plus the changes that which are there in the GitHub, right? Both will get
Right,
merged
right.
as
It
part
will
of
merge.
it.
Yes,
If
yes.
it is first time, in the sense like it will just pull the code. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it will. First time it will. So
But
basically,
Git fetch will not do the merge actually.
fetch will not do merge, whereas pull will merge it also.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is also the thing. We have many things inside there in GitHub, but we will just take a look about the push and pull, means clone first time, because we want to do one thing. Remember, we will write a code in India, and then we will push the code, and based on that pushing the code, we will push this code into this GitHub. Okay, and in GitHub, maybe suppose it is in Australia, suppose maybe it were anywhere, but the server is in Australia, consider. And then we will pull the code, or you can say clone the code into a US machine, and then here we will perform some operations, and after performing operation we pass it to container. After container maybe we will hub.docker.com. So that one we will store in somewhere else, suppose it is in New Zealand, and then we will work on it directly with this New Zealand, and we can serve it into UK, suppose. So like that we will do it today. So I will push this code. Maybe another person also push. He's in Italy or somewhere else, and that code will store into the repository, and then clone. And after cloning, I'll put this all thing into the server. And after server, directly anybody can access this through a URL. So that one we are trying to do it. Okay, getting my point?
Yes, yes, मजा है.
Uh-huh. So concept is very important. Later, if you understand this workflow, it is easy for us to work with other thing also, like GitHub and deployment process and Docker and all things. It's all depend on that concept. So how the concept is going on here, we should know about that. So the workflow is very important. Okay.
Here are
So
we
let's try to.
using Jenkins also, like
Uh,
at least to build the project, are not needed?
Yes, here we can do it with Jenkins also, but here we have a very small project. But at the large project like enterprise level applications, we definitely maintain through Jenkins only. So what
Got
we will do basically here, right now we don't need Jenkins, but if you are working with the enterprise level application, you should work with Jenkins only, because that is the best solution and best practices you can tell about that. So that's very important for us, Jenkins, and that is called configuration management, CI, continuous integration part. Through Jenkins, you can do all things together with CI related stuff, right? So continuous integration, we can do it easily with this tech thing. Now and this is called build pipeline also, we can work on it, and there is one plugin in Jenkins, build pipeline, and that will help us to work, understand the workflow of how the code is pushing. And here we have webhooks, and through webhooks we will integrate with our Jenkins server, and Jenkins server do all stuff for us. Right now I'm doing manually, in future we can do with Jenkins server also. So that is only freestyle job we can write, or you can say build pipeline based job we can write there. Project, freestyle project or pipeline project, we can use it and we can perform all operations. So this is basically contain only two things, like Flask and Python. Later maybe you have thousands of libraries in that. So that time you require to build properly and test it based on unit testing and automated testing, and based on that, if it is test is successfully, then only you need to push into the container, and then container you need to run it, and then you need to give it to someone else to notify. Okay, the server is ready and the we successfully deployed. You can check with this URL. Like that, we can do it. So from here to here, we will do through Jenkins only. Right now I'm doing manually, so if you understand the manual concept, so definitely you can work with automated environment. So through CGAPE, in that certification already they mention this all stuff with Docker and Python and Flash based application totally with automation. So there is one exam called CGAPE, Certified Professional Jenkins Engineer, like that. Some exams is there. In that they maintain this all thing together and they made it as automated. So this is only possible with Jenkins. So first of all, we will learn automated part, means manual part, and after that, if you get the concept, you can directly, I'll give you the link. Based on that link, you directly follow that. Okay. So first of all, we will what we understand today GitHub, about GitHub, and this is Git, and there are two things: cloud-based server. GitHub is basically cloud-based server, which will maintain the versions. Okay, and set of repository. Repository is nothing but a project. In that project, we will load the, like Python. Python have one project called TensorFlow. We will load that project and we will push the project and we will clone the project. Okay, so let's start with the basic of fundamentals of the uh, what we can say, repository stuff. So first of all, what you need to do with Git repository, if you know little bit, so let me help me on this area, GitHub. So first of all, what we need to do it, if I want to pull and push this mechanism, if I want to perform, what are the commands I require? Help me in that area. So first of all, you need to create an account, log in with that account, right? Log in with GitHub. Then next step, can you help me?
First, Git status will be there. Like we can go inside the project. Git init will initialize the project, I guess. Git
Yes, yes,
init.
yes. Uh, Git init will help us to create local repository, right?
Yeah, correct,
Local.
correct. Local repository. Yeah,
So,
that's correct. Yeah.
so I'll do one thing. I want that repository from GitHub. I don't want to create my own repository. I want to create, or yes, we'll do one thing, because we are going with from India and here we have source code, right? So we'll use Git init only. We'll try here Git init. So this Git init will, what it will do? It will create a repository, local repository. Remember, there are two types of repository: local and so local repository means which is within your system only. It is not out of your system. So this is very important. And in that scenario, what it will create, .git folder it will create, and it will maintain all settings and it will track all folders with the help of .git folder. Okay. Now after this, we will do one thing. We will add some source code, like source code, right? Source code we will add using, there is a method called git add, or you can directly copy your folder or write code whatever you have. And then after that we will do one thing, add this code into a repository, right? Add code into a repo. How? Using command called the command is, can you help me? Command add and then
Yeah,
find. Yes,
fine. Yeah.
file name. If there are extension, then extension. So like that we can write it, or else we can you do one thing. Instead of that, we will do all, right? All. So this is the one method. Now next one is what we need to do: commit, right? So what we will do, commit is help us to store. What is the purpose of commit, guys? Can you help me?
It is trying to whatever that is there in your local repository. It is trying to commit those changes into
Yes,
not to the, It's not to the distributed server for sure. There will be one more copy in your in between, right? That I'm not getting that actually, like exactly.
Work area.
Staging, yeah, staging area basically, yeah.
Yes, yes. So basically, commit will help us to move from local environment in local area to stage area, and this is area is especially is ready to work move to our remote machine. So that's why we use this stage area. And this local area is basically our location. You can say the location means like a it's like a folder system, but here stage area, in that area we will keep all data in ready to move location. So that means suppose if you ready, if you want to go somewhere else, so you are making the packing with the travel, right? So that is called stage area. In that you will ready for pushing the code into the server. So in that what we will do, we will write git commit. Remember, every command start with git command only, and these are the sub commands. So git commit -m for message, and here you will mention some message like application uh, deployed deployment first time. Some message we will write here, and then enter. We will push enter. So this will come into the your stage area. After stage area, what we will do, we will try to push this code into remote. So how we will do these things, or we can say connection between your server and the remote we will do here. Connection between local and remote will be done here. Remember, so it will require git command, and then after that git command we will use remote, add an origin, and then the location where you want to push this code. So here we will create the repository. Remember, before going to go do this thing, we will create any empty repository and we will push there the code. So here it will basically do like this: github.com first, then username. Suppose my username is mujahid85, so I'll write my username and then my repository name, repo name. So first of all, for this repository name dot git extension, we have like that. Okay. So this is the thing. In that we will do all stuff, and after this, what we will do after making connection between local and remote machine, or you can say server, we will directly push the code, push the code. How? Using git again git space push -u, and then origin, and then
And
the
master.
branch name. Yes, master is the by default branch. So I will go later about that branch stuff, but remember this is branch we need to write. So this will basically ask you first time for name and password and other stuff. If you not configure, so it will ask you, because I'm using multiple accounts, so that's why I'm definitely giving this thing. So it will be helpful for us. So
That
then
will be present in
now
the git config file, right? First
right,
time
right.
when we create.
First time it is present in git config, and you can configure as a secure environment also. So git hyphen config
Now
is
I have
there.
a doubt between point number 6 and 7 exactly.
Yes, tell me.
Can you explain the point number 6 and 7?
So
What is that remote add is doing and what is this push doing?
basically, this one will link between the your local machine with the server. So next time you
Master.
never use
Okay.
yes, never use this command. So
Okay. Next
you
time
will
just push. Okay.
push. So this is first time we will do this. All stuff we will do first time, and then we will check with git status. So in next time, what we will write command, if you want to do same thing, we don't want to link together with this. Only three commands we require. First is git add, and then add dot. So all things will added, and then git we will do git commit, and then -m and message. What do you want to push the message? Okay, so this one, and then last is git push. These three commands you want to use it in future. Push, so this will push directly to that server what we linked it. So these three commands you require in future. So next time whenever you change something and you want to make it from local machine to the Australia server or GitHub, so that time you will do three commands. So these three commands are very important. So this command will help you to push it to server. This command bind your library or your bundle with the some message name. So in future it will generate a ticket, or you can say it will generate the commit code, you can say. So here unique commit code will generate automatically, unique commit code. So this commit code, based on that we will understand where we need to move. So this will, based on this commit, it will push it to the server. So here it will bundle into one folder, you can say zip file, bundle into um, one file, or you can say zip format. So it will bundle all files whatever you change into one file, and the unique number will generate it here, and then this one it will push it to the server, push to server remote machine, or you can say in git server. So these three commands only we require in future if you want to do same operations. So three commands only we require, okay, in future. So not like this all things we will require in future. So first time we will need to do these things, because we are making the environment, we are making the speech, and then after that we will write a code, and then we will add this thing, and then commit is very important. So this whole bundle whatever you return, suppose in that you return three files, so these all three files are related to each other, remember. So that's why we need to make it into one group, you can say. So this one will help us to make it in one thing, and then that whole file will become with some unique number. And for that us it will easily find out through message. So better, for better understanding, they give us message, and then push we will push it to the master branch. So this is the by default branch is nothing but a copy, you can say a copy of repository. To maintain with multiple branch we will use branch command. So remember three commands only we require, and then we will see it. So do it practically, we will try to do it thing practically. So first of all I need to do with git repository. So I will go here and I'll write GitHub, and before that I'll just move it to the code, and there I will do one thing. Let me create one folder which will help us. So here I'll create a folder, and in that I want to create all things. So let me try with my Flask app. Some message I written first, some name I written. So I create one empty file, okay, folder, and here I want to make this command. So I'll go to terminal onto this location. So you can use Linux or any other tool also. So if you want, here I'm trying, I'll go with this command. So I already installed this git bash, git scm. This is the client, or you can use git command also. So I'll git bash I'll use. It is interesting, and you can do some Linux stuff also here. So it will be good. So like ls command, these all commands also we can run. So here we can check git. First of all we need to do it git init. Remember, when you execute this command, this will help us to create a folder, and this all things whatever we will add here, it will automatically trace. Okay. So now if I try here, suppose git status, and then you will see no yet, no commit yet. Okay. If I'll try to create any file here, suppose I'll create test file, and then I'll do something in this file. some message, and then I will save it. Now here, if same command, if I try here, I'll get some message. See here, uh, untracked files, and this is untracked file. The name is text.test.txt. So it will automatically trace with the command of git status. You can check what is going on. So what we require basically, first of all, we need to git init, and it will create a folder we saw, and then we will write a code, and then we will write add command. Okay, so before going to that, I'll just will take one sample example which will help us to write a simple Python code. I will use predefined code we already created, simple static code. Before going to that, I'll show you the what I written inside there. So this is the file. Here I will save this file, and this is static rendering, some welcome page. We will write welcome flask.py. In that, what I will do, here, yes, I import the Python Flask package and just message the welcome to web API. Like that, I want when I execute this command, it should work. Okay, so like that, we will write a code and we will delete it. This one we don't want, and then we will track it. So with the help of this command git status, we will check what's going on. So here one file is added. Okay, it's in red color, so it's showing one file is you added. Now based on this file, we need to create a environment, right? So I'll use here environment also, because Flask is based on we need to install the Flask, right? Flask packages and all environments part we need to do it. So here we will do prompt colon and then cls. Here we will try to create the environment virtual env, and then env and related to Flask. Okay, the name you can give anything, but better to give the name which is important for us. Okay, so here what I written the code, simple Python code. Simple Python code. If I run this code with slash symbol, so it will automatically open my message browser, and it will show you this message, welcome to web API. Okay, simple message. You can enhance it as per your requirement, and with this command it will create one folder. See here, it is creating one folder, and it will add necessary packages what we required basically. Okay, so here we will use necessary packages. So let's try with this here, git status. Now you will see many things it automatically added, env flask and the welcome flask.py. These two files added automatically. Now here what we need, can you help me? Because we understand this is normal folder, and in that we are
And we
going
have to
to perform
activate the environment, right?
right. We need to create the environment, and also because source code, in that we'll write Python code, one thing, 3.1, and then Python code which is related to Flask, hello world. And then after this we will create virtual environment with my env Flask, and then 3.3 will say after creating pip install, we require, right, Flask, and then test before going to live. Remember, you need to test it, Python, and then your file name. Suppose my file name is welcome Flask dot py. So if I test properly, then I can move it to this. So how we will move through app command, and here we will use host equal to 00. Remember, this we required. Then only it will be, this will become a global. So user can access port equal to some number like 5003, any number like that we need to specify. So this will become ready to move it to server. Okay, so let's try to check about virtual environment it's creating, and then this is also after creating complete environment, then only we will push it, remember, otherwise we will not push. So before that I'll go with this area and then I'll create a repository. uh, so we will get the URL. Okay, so I need to go with the browser, and here browser I need to create a repository. So new repository will create, and with this repository what we will give name, some name we will give class app. For better understanding I'll give same name what I have here, flask app 1, like that I will give. And we can create repository, remember, two ways, either public or private. So you can write and the packages what we use or some description about that. Private require you money, and public is open source, so that means it is free, so no problem for that. And initialize with some empty file also you can do it. And git ignore, this is the file where you can ignore what file you don't want, like pyc, python compiler file. So if you don't want compiled file, so then you can use this add git ignore, and then we will create a file in repository. So it will generate a URL, and based on this URL, what we will do, we will update the file. So here is my URL. See, GitHub, and then username, and then repository name. So we'll copy this, and then we will here we will store it. So it is better to utilize. Okay, now it's ready to store and pip install. Before that I forget to do one thing. uh, Activate environment, remember, if you forget this thing it will create a problem to us. How? Using uh, my env environment name or folder name, env flask slash script slash activate
That bad.
dot bash. Because working in Windows, so that's why we need embed a flask and then a script and then activate dot bash. So now it's activated. See, environment is activated, and now here what we need to install package what we require. Flask I need, so I'll use with this command. So it will install flask package. Okay, so it's collecting. Remember, this require you internet also, because it's going to cover. It will go to this location. So HTTPS, especially in server, we should have that server. Then only it is possible to require fetch that pip install command, flask related files. Okay, because this is work with based on .vhl file. VHL file is called wheel file, and this will create your package with all dependencies. So here are the dependencies of Flask. So this will cover all Flask dependencies. Okay, let me try with the example what we did. So this all thing we did, and now we will try to run this program. Python and welcome flask.py. I'll just run this file. See 5001, and now I'll try to check here 127.0.0.5000, 5000, and then enter. When I enter it, it will give me one welcome message. So I someone perform get operation and slash thing it required. So welcome to web API we are getting. So this is for local machine. Remember, if you want same thing with remote machine, if you want same thing in remote machine, what you will do basically, you will do one thing. You will write here we will write some code. here we will write some code which is very important for us here, app.run. What we will do here, we will write one file, and that file is basically will help us to perform some operation in like this. We will write here. So remember, we will use this symbol. This symbol is very important, which will help us to remotely accessible our file. So we can try, if possible, if my mm, firewall is not creating any problem, so you can access my system. I think so. It's possible. Hope. Remote machine part. Remember, remote part. This is so. Here is the thing, and now we will try same. We need to know our my IP address. You need to know my IP. So it will ask you one dialog box. Can you see this dialog box? This is, it will allow me. So I'll say okay. Anybody can access my server system. I'll say allow this, and here I'll use uh, what is my IP. So public IP I'll get, and based on this IP, you can access my server. Okay. So what we did in local desktop machine, we run this server part. See, this is maybe through IPv6 also we can try, right? Chetan?
I'm really not sure, but I mean IP address
We'll try.
colon port number should work, but IPv4 it will come. I'm not sure about 6.
No problem. What is my someone, if you write here like this, so IPv4. What is my IPv4? This is the good. View IPv4 address.
Go to the third link. What is my IP address, IP location, something like that.
This one. Colon 5000. How you can access 5003. Oh, sorry. 5003 we tried port because here 5003, right? So if this is my IP address, so I can access. Can you try this URL? Yes, you can try. It works. I think this is my IP address. So how? One dot is basically from USA, right? This is not my IP.
Your IP address you can see at my control panel or my computer like that, right? Or network
Oh, that is
settings.
private IP address. Private IP address is possible to see.
So will this work for? 127.0.0.1 sometimes.
It should work. Let me check it. Yeah, 127.0.0.1 5003. So it should work. See, get request is coming from 127.0.0.1. So that means if I know public IP address, so you can access my system and you can request the URL. So like that we want, if we design the application in last time, in what we will do in and real time, if you want to make it into the server, or we can deploy migrate from local machine to server, we will add this line. That means anybody can access this application, and the port 5003, anybody can access this port. Okay, so that's why we will write here like that. So if possible, if I'll get IP address, so you can access my system. I think it should work. I think so. I don't know, but let's try with this. 5003. No. It's going to Google. Okay, whatever. But here we can access the system. Remember, and it's ready to move to our server side. Means here up till here 3.5 we covered, and then now we need to add this code. This code is ready, and now we need to push this code into repository using git add command, right? So this git add command will help us to push into the repository. So let's try with this. Here all things we changes we done smoothly we done. So we'll use here ls, and we'll see the files. Okay, two files are there, and then git add and then dot. I want to add all things, so it will try to add. There are some settings, unicode related, crlf related stuff is there. So this is giving me warning. It's not important, but just a warning we have here. And then it will automatically make a one bundle. Remember, here it will make a one bundle, and that bundle is named with a particular string and some unique code. So after this we need to do commit part. We will write here commit part, and we will say application is ready to uh, push into server. Like that we will write message. Okay, this we will write here this line, git add then git commit part. Okay, oh, this one is we have I think we can try with this. This is my private IP address. It will work only my side. If you are using my network, then only you can get this IP. Here I'll try. 5003. Hope it should work, because I checked with EC2 server. It's working fine for me, but I never tried with the Windows system with this case. If you try here, it will come that IP address which one is trying to access our server. We'll do with EC2 server, so that would be good for us. Now whatever we did, we just committed, and we just added. Now after this whole thing, this is the thing where we push our code from local machine to desktop. Till here we finish. Okay, now after this what we need to clone it, and we need to store into our server where we have docker. Okay, before moving to that, we will just create a server. Here we will go to the location like console AWS server. I will order till that time. So we'll use EC2 Ubuntu 16.4, stable and good. This is my private IP address. Let me check it. Yeah, sure. IP config. This command will help us to get the IP address of private. See, 43.100 43.100 is my private IP address. So with IP config or if config, we can get the private IP addresses, not a public. But there is one command, curl command is there. With this command, we can fetch public IP addresses, whatever. So here I tried with this symbols, and this all thing it will try to add into my server, because this contain one complete environment. Remember, so this environment contain all files like scripts and lib, and this all thing is it's trying to push into the server. So this all files it's trying to add. This will automatically create when you install any packages. So this all things is trying to add into our server. We'll use EC2, and that EC2 Ubuntu server we will try. So whatever I'll do, I'll write here. Okay. So we did a Git part, and now we will push in this whole thing into deployment into the server or Ubuntu. We'll try. So I will take EC2 machine or server, log in with the AWS account, move to EC2 department, and then launch server Ubuntu 16.04. This version we require. Okay. Order this server. So I'll launch instance, and here I'll order it. Okay. After this, what we will do, we will install packages what we required, like install Python or what softwares we require, virtual env and other, and git if we required, and all stuff whatever we required. Okay. And then we will clone this thing into here. So clone, and then also we need to install a docker here, and then we will clone it. What we will clone, this one we will clone, remember. So command is git clone and then url. That's it. So this is the command to clone our application. Yeah, it's committed properly. Now first time we need to make the connection between these two. So I'll use this command url and run this. Execute. Added, the link is added. Now after running this command, this only authenticate and it will push it to the server. Remember, something is wrong here, right? Failed to push some refs. Git status. So, I think we did a commit part, right? No, we not.
Yes. No, we did not do that.
That's why.
Yeah, we just added that files. That's it.
Right. Thanks. So after commit, it will come into the one bundle and it will generate one unique number, and that unique number we can see it in get repository and here also, no problem. But the main thing is what commit is very important. This will bind whole thing, whatever you changes this all files into one message or unique number. Remember. So this is it's coming automatically in environment. Remember, we are not doing anything. So here it will create. See, the last digits they are trying to share with us. This is the last digit of that commit number. So 2511 files changed, and these are much files we inserted. Yes, this also take more time. Yes, that. Now, next step is what? Add remote already exists. Yes. Then next step is what? Git push, then hyphen u, and then origin. Command is origin, and then the name of the file, right? Or you can say push origin and then repository. So it will push it to the server, and then it requires username and password. You will not see that maybe because I'm not configured with my system, so definitely it will ask me to write username. I write here 85. Password is, I think so. Yes, I written the password. Now it started uploading this whole thing into the server. See, it's uploading, compressing that objects, and writing all things. So meanwhile, if you try to see here, after pushing this whole thing here, and you try to find out here the repository plus app1, especially this repository. So you will find out it will upload all things whatever we have. So we just refresh here. We are not doing anything. It's empty right now. When we refresh it, it will come here and it will push all thing into this location. Ubuntu 16. There are two versions of Ubuntu 16.04. One is SQL Server and another is without SQL Server. So we will focus on without SQL Server. So guys, any doubt till here? Any doubt? Any questions? Server we uploaded. Now we need to create. Sorry, we need to create a server. We need to launch a server, and then we need to install all things whatever we have. So my plan is what you should prepare one server for us, and then we will work on it. Okay, we'll see tomorrow about this session, and meanwhile I'll show you how it's uploaded. It will come to your system directly and repository, and I'm planning to add with you on this repository, so you can add here your server. See here we have SQL server, with SQL server and without SQL server. So we'll select without SQL server. Okay. So one thing, and here I will add you another people also. I can collaborate with this person. So if you have a GitHub account, so you can tell me your email ID or in the username. So I'll add you in this repository. So we'll work as a collaboration part.
Yeah, I'll send that
So you
Mujahid
can.
after this.
Mujahid, and one more thing, just to know, still how many classes we have? How many classes we
Only
may
this
have?
demo we need to finish it. That's it.
Oh, okay,
Not
okay,
more than that.
Mujahid.
So this requirement
Okay.
was important, so that's why I think I'll try to finish today, but problem is what already 9 o'clock is done. So I don't want to make overtime. So
Okay,
that's why.
okay, okay.
Otherwise, if you are ready, I can. So here
Uh,
we will write username. If you have, you can send us. Anyone? Chaitanya, Ashok, Jayesh.
Mujahid, like I've stored it somewhere in my local system. I'll send those Mujahid. I don't remember.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'll send
when you
those.
send, I will add you. So
Sure, sure.
you can check into this repository. You will find you can easily access this repository, and whole code you can see here directly. Okay. after uploading complete code. Okay, so we'll see tomorrow sharp 8 o'clock, and I will try to finish all things together. Okay, I'll make all server and all the stuff also. Meanwhile, you can access the server and you can check the repository, and you can clone your site. You can work on it directly. The commands I will show you in the group. Okay, whatever we command we use, I'll show you in the group only directly. So these things we did today. Tomorrow we will try to focus on this area, and then after cloning this whole stuff, we will start working on Docker, um, mm, Docker stuff. And in Docker, what we will do basically, we will after installing Docker, first of all we need to install Docker, right? Install Docker, and then after installing, uh, create empty image, empty file, like Alpine is the best empty Linux OS operating system, you can say. And there you will push your code, means all things you will push, like Python and other stuff also you will store through, you will create through Docker file. Remember, Docker file will help you to install and create all things, Python and pip and virtual environment, and each and everything we will create from this Docker file. And then we will run this image, run image with container. So it will come in container, and then we'll expose that port while running. We will expose that port with particular number. Ports also we need to forward it. So at that time we will you can check through http colon slash and then public IP address colon the port number what we forwarded port number we require here, and then routing address, like that. So you can check with this thing location. So tomorrow we will see this thing. Okay, servers and Docker part. Okay, any doubt, any question, guys?
No, Mujahid.
So we'll see tomorrow and we'll try to finish all things together. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.